Tonight on NewsWatch Ole Miss, the man accused in the murder of Ole Miss student Jimmy J. Lee was indicted yesterday. We'll have more updates ahead.
And an opioid antidote will now be available to purchase over the counter nationwide.
It's a beautiful day in Oxford, Mississippi, 65 degrees, sunny, and a 0% chance of precipitation. Keep watching to hear what to expect in weather tonight and the rest of this week. NewsWatch Ole Miss starts now.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us on NewsWatch Ole Miss. I'm Katie Simmons.
And I'm Teddy King. Timothy Harrington has been formally indicted in the murder of Ole Miss student Jimmy J. Lee. Reporter Kyle Wakefield spoke with members of Oxford's LGBTQ+ community on how this case has affected them.
A grand jury from Lafayette County indicted the man accused of killing Ole Miss student Jay Lee. I spoke with someone from the LGBTQ community who says this is huge news.
I feel like it's a big win for the community. I know that the community was really just wanting justice, but also that they just wanted to see some type of example being made with the system.
Many members of the LGBTQ community have been demanding justice for Lee since last summer. It was in July when Lee went missing. Since then, law enforcement has been investigating, while Harrington's attorneys have been working to clear his name.
Our court system was a little slow. He was technically missing for over 260 days. That's nearly a year.
Justice for Jay Lee is a page on Instagram that has raised awareness for the LGBTQ community since the story broke.
I think without that page that people would have honestly forgotten about it. I know that there was some things being posted recently about just like general controversy about the page and just like things not like being fully fact checked or whatnot. I know that comes with anything. I mean, people aren't perfect, but I think that the Justice for Jay Lee page did a job well.
Although Harrington has been indicted, there is still sadness and grief in the LGBTQ community. Members tell me that there is more work to be done to raise awareness in the community. I'm Kyle Wakefield, NewsWatch Ole Miss.
For more information, you can go to the Justice for Jay Lee Instagram page or follow Oxford Police Department on Instagram or Twitter.
President Joe Biden says he is planning on visiting Mississippi to see the devastation Friday's tornado left on the state. The president contacted Mississippi officials to offer his condolences and full federal support, but gave no specific details on when he will make his way to the Magnolia State. Biden also issued his own disaster declaration to free up resources and help the area. It seems like we can't catch a break in Mississippi. Our storm watch is tracking potential for severe weather.
Weather anchor Mackenzie Cox has more now on what we can expect the rest of the week. Mackenzie?
Yes, it looks like we definitely will be expecting some more severe weather this week, which is unfortunate news, but Oxford and the rest of northern Mississippi is under an enhanced risk, which means numerous severe storms are possible according to the National Weather Service. So we're going to start with some showers on Thursday evening, but the real timing for this storm is going to be Friday afternoon and evening, and most all modes of severe weather are possible. So we're looking at a few tornadoes can't be ruled out, damaging winds, and large hail. So here it's really important that we're practicing weather awareness and storm safety. So here we have some different potential forms of severe weather that we could see through these storms. We have tornadoes, hail, lightning, and flooding as well. And most all of these actions are going to have you taking shelter immediately inside of a sturdy structure. You're going to make sure that you know your safe space and that you have that identified ahead of time in order to stay safe during these storms.
And with that severe weather headed our way, Oxford residents are encouraged to prepare. NewsWatch reporter Cameron Haas brings more tips on how to stay safe during the storm.
With the disastrous tornadoes that swept through Mississippi this past Friday and more severe weather on the way, storm preparation has become a high level of interest. According to Google Trends, tornado shelter costs tripled, with Mississippi being the top state searching for it. Since getting a tornado shelter installed within the next week is not realistic, there are several short-term solutions. Breck Jones from Oxford Police Department urges residents to be alert.
The main thing to do is just be prepared, have a plan. Where are you going to go? Know where you're going to go. Know what storm shelter is closest to you.
There are several tornado shelters in the Oxford area, some of them being the Oxford Utilities Parking Lot, Oxford Activity Center, Oxford Recycling Center, and Oxford Fire Department Stations 3 and 4.
If you're at home in the event of a tornado, make sure to get to a windowless lower level room, such as a bathroom, closet, or a hallway like this one.
Storms are unpredictable, so it is important to stay up to date on the latest information.
Follow us on social media, follow emergency management on social media, keep up with the weather, follow the weather channel.
It is great to have emergency supplies in your house as well, such as a flashlight, first aid kit, and paper goods. Anything you can do to become prepared. I'm Cameron Hass, NewsWatch Ole Miss.
To find any additional information on local shelters and preparation, make sure to go to msema.org.
The White House has approved Governor Tate Reeves' request for individual and public assistance for those affected by Friday's tornado. The assistance would include grants for temporary housing, home repair, low-cost loans to cover uninsured property loss, as well as provide programs for business owners who suffered damage. The counties approved for this aid and debris removal are Carroll County, Humphreys, Monroe, and Sharkey County. This assistance will need to register online at disasterassistance.gov or by calling 1-800-621-FEMA. And because of all this devastation in our state, you may be wondering how you can help. Reporter Ryan Vanderbrook has more on how you can contribute to the relief.
I think it's really hard to comprehend an entire city being destroyed by a natural disaster.
After the recent tornadoes swept across Mississippi last Friday, leaving dozens of people without homes, students and faculty are working with various Ole Miss organizations to gather supplies for struggling families.
We're really excited about this. It's something that's very much so needed, and it's great to see so many different drives going on campus, because really with how many people and how far the effect was of this disaster, I think we need as much as we can get right now for these Mississippians.
Following the storm, the Ole Miss Associated Student Body established donation sites that exceeded expectations.
It's been very heartwarming to see the outpouring of love that's come from Mississippians all across not only the state but the nation, and to see people really banding together right now.
ASB has partnered with Period UM and Lyceum Locker with the hopes of expanding donations as the week goes on.
Yes, so Period UM already has their own collection sites throughout campus where they collect usually their menstrual products, so all of those same locations. And then Lyceum Locker also has a donation site in the Johnson Commons area.
These types of boxes can be found in every dorm and multiple buildings across the Ole Miss campus, including the Student Union and Farley Hall. The items they're looking for include hygiene products, toiletries, and non-perishable items such as these. This is Ryan Vanderbrook, NewsWatch Ole Miss.
Make sure donations are dropped off at one of the many donation centers on campus by 5 o'clock this Friday.
Coming up, an opioid antidote will now be available to purchase over the counter.
And later, we'll have a story of Mississippi High School record breaker. Stay tuned on NewsWatch Ole Miss.
Does it ever seem like some people are actually trying to destroy the planet? And the rest of us are like, hey, we need this planet. Some people may be slow to learn, but they'll eventually get the message.
Oh man, I can't believe I'm missing this. Okay, Grandma. I see you.
Don't get stuck at home with the flu. A flu shot is the best way to prevent the flu and its potentially serious complications. It keeps you, your community, and loved ones protected. Don't get flu FOMO. Learn more at getmyflushot.org.
When you have a hole in your neck, don't face the shower head.
Suction out your tube before you eat. Crouch. Don't bend over. You don't want to lose the food in your stomach. Don't use spray paint.
Be very careful shaving.
You can quit. For free help, call 1-800-QUIT-NOW.
Legacy isn't just about where you're from, it's about where you're going. So where are you going?
I'm going to be the first in my family to graduate.
I'm going to make a difference.
Just like my granddad.
I'm going to make the bestseller list.
And I'm going to help him get there.
I'm going to win a championship.
Again! I'm going to lock the vault! Hotty toddy!
I'm going to take the next step.
I'm going to bring them to their feet.
I'm going to Ole Miss.
Ole Miss. Build your legacy.
Welcome back to NewsWatch Ole Miss. With drug overdose levels near record levels, federal officials on Wednesday approved for the first time an over-the-counter version of an opioid antidote that saves lives. The OTC nasal spray containing Naloxone, the generic name of Narcan, will come in a package of 2 doses. That's in case the person overdosing does not respond to the first dose. However, most overdoses can be reversed with a single dose, according to drug maker Emergent Biosolutions. The Naloxone nasal spray can be given to anyone, even children and babies. The FDA commissioner said the approval is meant to increase access to the medicine. More than 1 million people have died of drug overdoses in the 2 decades since the CDC started collecting the data. Many of those deaths were because of opioids.
We have more on a developing story outside of Nashville. 6 are dead, including 3 children, after a school shooting at Covenant Presbyterian School. NewsWatch reporter AC Barker is in the newsroom with the latest.
Katie, thank you. We're learning more about Audrey Hale, who killed 6 people at a Nashville elementary school on Monday. Hale was a former student at Covenant Presbyterian. A former instructor, Maria Colamy, is speaking out about her previous interactions with Hale at the Nassau College of Art and Design. She told the New York Times that Hale had an emotional breakdown on the first day of classes 6 years ago. According to the Times, years later, Hale posted on Facebook asking to be addressed by male pronouns and a new name. Hale's parents told police Hale was under a doctor's care for an emotional disorder. Nashville police have not determined a motive for the shooting.
It's been very trying for me. I've done this for 35 years, as you said, and I have trained and we've trained and we prepare, but you never want to see this day happen. And when it did, it's just been exhausting.
Hale was shot on the scene of the shooting. Parents were able to reunite with their children at Woodmont Baptist Church just up the street from the school. Many moms and dads anxiously waited to hear their child's name called for pickup that day. It's no question that this is a parent's worst nightmare. And for many, this situation hits close to home. I spoke with Nashville resident Jim Rolfe. He says children, especially as young as 9 years old, shouldn't have to be scared to go to school.
It's innocent. You know, when you're talking about elementary school, it's you want to go to school. You go there and you think you're safe, and it's very, very innocent. And so when you see something like this happen, especially at a school, at an elementary school, it's just heartening.
Rolfe's children attending Covenant Presbyterian years ago, and his family still attends church there today.
Devastating, not only from being a part of that church and being a part of that school, but it's also part of Green Hills. It's also a part of Nashville. It's part of Tennessee. That and again, it goes back to this will never happen to our school. And this is a small school. It's a 209 student school, and so it's just crazy to imagine that it happens so close to home. So yeah, people I think
The Nashville community is continuing to process what happened in Green Hills 2 days ago. Right now, there is no word of when Covenant Presbyterian will resume to a normal class schedule. This is a developing story, so be sure to stay with us on NewsWatch Ole Miss as we continue to learn more. Back to the desk.
Thanks, AC. This Nashville shooting is the most recent of over 100 mass shootings across the nation this year alone. Because of this, President Joe Biden is calling for gun reform. He lacks support from Republicans who control the House. They can block legislation in the Senate. Republicans argue such a ban is ineffective and infringes on constitutional rights. Tennessee Senator Bill Hagerty also declined to embrace further restrictions in his state.
Stay tuned after the break. We'll have the latest weather updates and more on NewsWatch.
I don't know why you're so sad. You've got a roof over your head.
You gotta stop with that depression stuff. That's what white people think. You alright?
It just feels like it's coming from everywhere.
Do you want to talk about it?
You can talk to me if you're feeling sad. Whenever you need to talk, I'm here, okay?
You think getting dumped by text is harsh? Try getting dumped by a tennis ball. My ex-owner drove me out to the woods, yelled fetch, and by the time I brought the ball back, he was gone. Yeah, I was pissed. But the folks at the shelter helped me let go of my anger. I learned coping skills, like taking it to the hole. Boom! Now I'm ready to fetch again. But how about I throw and you run and get it?
Two flashlights.
What's up, champ? Feel like you get taller every time I see you. Congratulations, Brandon.
Thank you.
It's a beautiful day today, but we live in Mississippi.
Yep, which means the weather changes every minute. Let's check in with weather anchor Mackenzie Cox to see what's in store for weather the rest of this week. Mackenzie?
Yes, you're certainly right about those changes, but today was beautiful. It was 65 degrees and sunny, 0% chance of precipitation. Rarely do we see that. Low winds coming in from the south at 3 miles per hour. But let's take a look at the rest of northern Mississippi that shared in the good fortune this week. We have 63 South Haven, Holly Springs, Corinth, 65 Oxford, and Tupelo rounding us out at 66, our warmest. But going into tonight, those temperatures will be dropping to 42, so a little bit on the cooler side. If you're heading out tonight, I would be sure to grab a jacket, but you don't have to worry about the umbrella. Only 2% chance of precipitation. Clear skies, great to hear. And then tomorrow's forecast is going to be 75 degrees, so we're definitely warming back up some of that spring weather that you might expect, but mostly sunny until we move into the evening. And we're going to have a chance of evening showers. We talked about that system rolling in Thursday night into Friday afternoon, so that's something you're going to want to be on the lookout for as you make your plans for Thursday and Friday. And here looking at the region tomorrow, everybody's going to be warming up 73 to 76, spreading us out across northern Mississippi with our very own Oxford at 75. And here, let's take a look at this system that's moving in. So we're stepping back to a national view, and you can see how these fronts here are really compressing our region. So you're going to expect, you see this shaded green area, that's where the storms are expected to have the most impact. So you're going to have the low pressures combining, and that's going to potentially cause some issues for us going into Friday. So make sure that you stay weather aware, that you have a place in a storm safe location in mind. That's going to be really important. And here taking a look at the 5-day, so starting on Thursday, you're going to have some nice cool temperatures, and then on Friday, that storm potential, but it should be rather nice for a weekend, shaping up to have some nice outdoor time, and then Monday, back with those showers.
Coming up, we have more information on last night's game cancellation in Pearl that will not be rescheduled, and a recap of softball's team shutout against Memphis. I will have that and more in sports.
Creating a legacy takes time, takes dedication, spirit, and a greater vision. That vision starts here, at the University of Mississippi. What will you be remembered by? Your character, your contributions, your friendship. Your legacy will define who we are now and who we are becoming for our state, our students, and our future. Ole Miss, build your legacy.
Bring it.
Time out, guys. I'm late to dinner. My mom's gonna kill me. Catch you guys later.
Mom wants us home. Okay. Bye, guys.
You guys need a ride? Sure. Yeah. All right. How about some one-on-one?
I gotta go eat, man. Sorry, I'll see you later.
Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding.
Why did the girl ask the mushroom to dance? Because he was a fun guy.
What do you call a pig that knows karate? Pork chop. So how does a tissue dance? Put a little boogie on it.
Welcome to Sports Watch. I'm DeLakin Crawford. You don't normally hear about unplayable field conditions in college baseball, but it happened to the Rebels last night. Fans and spectators traveled to Pearl Trustmark Park to support Ole Miss baseball as they competed against Southern Miss, only to leave halfway through. The field was in such terrible condition from the rain this past weekend that they were not able to continue play. Ole Miss was down by 1 run in the bottom of the 4th when the game was canceled. It's considered as a no contest, which means that the game won't count against either team and will not be rescheduled. The team will be traveling to College Station, Texas this weekend for a 3-day series against Texas A&M starting Friday at 6 p.m. Hopefully conditions are looking better there. Ole Miss softball is coming up off a midweek 6-0 win over Memphis. McKenna Calthrums, a senior from Warrensville, Missouri, had 4 strikeouts. Paige Smith, Jamie McKay, and Savannah Sykes were also hot at the plate with doubles. Then their teammate Maya Stevenson came along with a home run. The Rebels will be on the road to this weekend for a 3-day game series against Auburn. The first game will be Friday at 6 p.m. in Auburn, Alabama. Outdoor track is underway. Ole Miss track team will be competing in both Texas Relays and Stanford Invitational. Texas Relays will be held all day from Thursday until Saturday, and Stanford Invitationals will be held on Friday and Saturday. Some star players to watch during the meets will be this week's track female and male athletes of the week, Jelani Davis and Tarek Robinson O'Hagan. And more on track and field, an Oxford High School pole vaulter is breaking records, including his own brothers. Reporter Jonathan Briggs has more on this now.
A leap of faith that finally paid off. John Scott Kendricks is not only a senior at Oxford High School.
Record was 17 feet. It was just 17 feet 0 inches. It was flat. People considered it so untouchable.
But he is now the state record holder for pole vault.
It was special to come out here and break that, especially knowing how high that seemed to the people around here.
The record jump at the Oxford Relays meet in early March was Kendricks' 13th attempt. Kendricks was no doubt pushed by intense competition and a home crowd.
And it was a big deal to a lot of the people around here too, because they've seen me try and fail over and over again to finally do that. So it was a big deal around here. It was very special in the moment.
A moment Kendricks has been waiting for since early childhood, when his older brother Sam Kendricks set the state record and went on to become an Olympian.
I really cared because it was my brother Sam's record, and obviously what little brother doesn't want to beat up on their older brother when they get the chance.
Oxford head track coach Christian Patton says that Kendricks has more goals for the rest of the season.
Next two goals are to win the state championship, number one, to break the state championship meet record, number two, and man, just enjoy the rest of this season.
After completing his senior season, Kendricks will continue his athletic career at the University of Arkansas.
But Arkansas is it's a whole new experience that I wanted to have.
Kendricks will jump again at the Oxford Invitational this Friday, where he hopes to improve on his record. Jonathan Briggs, NewsWatch, Ole Miss.
We wish Kendricks the best of luck going forward. And that's all I've got for sports. Be sure to tune in to Rebel Watch on Fridays at 5 for coverage on Ole Miss sports and beyond. NewsWatch Ole Miss will be right back.
Before we celebrate the freedom most Americans have, we must fight for the freedom all Americans deserve. Because all lives can't matter until Black lives matter.
We're all just trying to keep things running for those who rely on us. Ready! That's why we don't have time to be sick with the flu. And especially this year, no one has time to get sick. Get a flu shot for yourself and those around you too.
This year, my mom got me the perfect bag for back to school.
These colorful binders help me stay organized.
These headphones are just what I need for studying.
These new sneakers are just what I need for the new year.
This jacket is a real must-have.
My parents got me the skateboard I wanted. It's pretty cool.
These scissors really come in handy in art class. These colored pencils, too.
These new socks, they can be a real lifesaver.
I finally got my own phone to stay in touch with my mom.
We are Ole Miss Rebels. As Mississippi's flagship university, we dig deeper, see farther, work harder. We pioneered human organ transplants. We helped prove Einstein's theory of gravitational waves. We are distinguished as a Carnegie R1 top 2.5% research institution. We are Ole Miss, transforming lives and the world.
So a little weather recap just to keep this on the top of your mind as we go into Thursday and Friday. Oxford is currently in an enhanced risk along with several other areas in northern Mississippi and Tennessee. We're looking at potentially a few tornadoes, damaging winds, and large hail. So it's really going to be important that you have your safe spot identified ahead of time. And then as we look at these severe weather hazards, know what actions you need to take and the best way to keep you and your family safe. So we have making sure that you can take shelter in a sturdy structure and staying away from windows and glass. With all this severe weather, we must all be so careful and make sure to stay in safe spaces, especially.
I know I'm going to be staying in my apartment for the rest of that night.
Yes, definitely a good idea. Make sure that you remain weather aware throughout the rest of this week. That's all we've got for tonight. From NewsWatch Ole Miss, I'm Teddy King.
And I'm Katie Simmons. Be sure to keep up with us on social media, and we will see you again tomorrow at 5.
Thank you and have a great night.